I'm about to go on air, but I will hit you back. I'll find out if they're even accepting anything. Right now, they're overwhelmed with trying to get people's personal stuff here this week. So basically, building pallets as we speak. Okay, 59 seconds. Twenty-three seconds. Unc, I see you doing your thing. Okay. All right, Unc.
What type of tea is that, Pago?
Um, that is Island Blend. My god sister's Crooked Island teas.
Mm.
So good. I have to give you a box when I see you
Okay.
next time.
Oh Lord, all the family coming out. Lord Jesus, that's my brother. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I don't see what kind of day today gonna be.
That's family.
It's a family affair. Oh, my nephew. Oh, Lord. There's Da.
What'd you say?
That's Da, one of my nephews.
I see that. Then I got that's my brother. My God. Oh Lord. Renee, where your family? Where your supporters?
I just act like I use that. I tell nobody else can be on.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Okay.
Listen, I just have to do what I was told.
Sean
She
has
was
put it Sean has put it in the family group
Yeah.
chat.
listen, because I don't want no foolishness. That one was just in Texas the other day and beat me up. So I don't want them have to fly in and beat me up. I
Oh
do as I
wow.
told.
Oh
And you
wow.
catch us on the replay, my folks.
Okay, okay, okay. Lord. Okay, here we go. Start Star 106 hits. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another motivational Monday. Good to have you in my company, I should say our company today, as today's show is being powered by KFC. Thank you to Grace Kennedy Money Services, Western Union, Pinder Tile, Muffler World. Thank you to CFAL, Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Solomon's, the Cleveland Clinic. Thank you so much. It's good to have everybody in my company today, however you got here. We're 106.5 on the FM band. We're the Star. All right. And of course, to everybody locked and loaded, channel 976 on cable. And of course, to the Facebook faithfuls, good afternoon. We're Star 106 and Natural Empress on Facebook. All right. With that said, good to have you all, however you got here. I'm joined today by the Bahamian contingency. I'm going to call this the Bahamians Abroad Association, spearheaded by the president. Well, I guess he's the vice president because Coach would be the president. All right, followed by his vice. And of course, you know, when the president or the prime minister is not in office, then the vice have to take up the mantra. And so said, Sean, you're here today in Coach's absence. And you, who is that? That's the Sugar Hill Gang. The line that says, well, you only bring one friend, but I brought a friend along. I guess Coach would have brought two friends along, right?
Yes.
I want you to introduce well, she's a regular still, but we just never was able to put a face to the name, to the comments. You know what I mean? So please introduce our guest. We can call her guest, but she can't just open the fridge like, oh, you could, you know.
Yeah. She got to visit at least 3 or 4 times, then she goes to the fridge.
Yeah. She still have to ask me. I have a glass of and fill in the blank here.
All right.
So Empress, it's so good to be on the show today. And yes, I brought along a friend, Renee Pargo. Renee, really and truly ain't no stranger, Nasuvian, Camp Road, everything. This. So I'll tell you a little joke. So whenever I'm on the phone, my wife would always ask me, which one of them you talking to, your sister or Renee?
Oh, so one is the sister. So one is the sister and one is Renee.
Yeah, one is Renee. Yeah. So I only talking because you know we be chatting it up and we be laughing and carrying on. And who are you talking to? So yes, Renee.
Is your wife Bahamian?
No, she isn't. But she close. She's a Floridian, so she's pretty close to Bahamian.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Renee, welcome to the show officially.
Thank you, Renee. It's good to be here. Empress.
Yeah, call my name. I love it. So, of course, you know, as the year rolls, it's coming to a fast halt. All right, we're getting ready to step into a new year. And of course, you know, we always talk about the new year being the new me. But I think as today's topic is going to depict, there are some things that a lot of us as Bahamians in particular, we choose to for lack of a better expression, turn a blind eye to. You know, we don't want to acknowledge that certain things must be put in place in order to truly say that, you know what, it depicts a couple of things. It depicts a certain level of maturity. It also depicts a certain level of understanding that, you know what, we ain't here forever. You know what I mean? And we see it all the time, especially within the Black community. I don't only want to just say in the islands, but just generally, the brother man, because the other man, them don't do it like this. You know what I mean? Everything from before the child even hit planet Earth, everything is pretty much mapped out. And it's not only the wealthy folk. Like, you know, there's always a plan. We, the other man, the brother man, we tend to always want to wing things. We're about a wing and a prayer. We're always about crossing that bridge. When we get there, we are about, you know what? I leave this one in the hands of the Lord, right? Where he gives us the wisdom and the understanding to do certain things and to put certain things in place. I feel like I preach it. Hallelujah. Right? So with that, I'm going to allow you to take the lead in introducing today's topic. Go ahead.
So, go ahead, Renee.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, so today's topic. What are your retirement plans? And then secondary to that, Are your children part of your retirement plan?
Excuse me, miss. Let me do like what I do with coach. What plan? You ain't hear me. Plan. You won't know if I have a plan, much less if I plan for them. Boy, most sure enough to they gotta fight for
for
themselves.
himself.
Like I
So
Yeah.
so
taught you how to survive.
so I can quote coach here. You know, your past the past is for learning, the present is for living, and the future is for growing. So I mean that says a whole lot in what we want to talk about today. I mean, from what's your plan? You got to have a plan. You know, if you don't have a plan, you won't succeed. You know,
So,
Listen, we just wing it. We pray. We can just pray about it. I hope, when, everything will work out according to no plan.
but then they say faith without works is dead, right?
dead.
Ain't no, but that's just it. This is the heights of having faith. I have faith that something will work out.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
no, that ain't gonna work though. I mean, we've seen that that doesn't really work. So we got to do something different.
Okay, let's talk different. If you want a different result, you got to do
you
Got to
got
do
to
something.
do.
something different.
Yeah, yeah, insanity,
Absolutely.
insanity.
So,
So
so we came up with four different points that we thought would make sense to talk about today in regards to our topic. So we're talking about financial plans, social plans, health plans, and death plans. So we feel like those four areas,
Accent forward, you done said
we
it.
definitely need to do some more planning in those in those four areas. So yeah.
so yeah,
Okay, well,
financial.
let's hit it. Let's hit it.
All right, so financial plan. I'll take financial plan. All right, so what are you doing with your money that you're making? Are you making enough money? And then are you doing that 70-10-10 rule? Coach always talk about the 70-10-10 rule. You live with 70% of the money that you make. You save 10%. You tithe. If you're a church going person, you tithe 10%. And then the next 10%, you invest. So you have 70-10-10-10. That's 100%. 70 and pre-tens are 30, 100%. So you have to have a plan in order to come out better. And I tell people this all the time. My dad pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you can't be like me. You have to be better than me." And so if you don't know, go to a class, go to a friend, go to a family member who is doing really well, and try to say, "Hey, what are you doing to make you so successful?"
Excuse me, sir. Again, you and Renee are foreigners at this point in the way you think. When in Rome or when in Texas or when in Florida, you do as the Floridians or the Texans do. Okay? You're talking about first and foremost recognizing that somebody is doing well, right? That somebody's doing better than me. Here in the 242, let me remind y'all that in the 242, if you're doing better than me, I ain't trying to learn what you're doing. What I do is hate on you. You understand? You're talking about me coming to grips with the fact that you're doing something that I'm not. I'm going to hate on you before I come to you and ask for the blueprint on how to make my life a bit better.
Let me ask you this
I
question though.
just wheel y'all in real quick.
Well, let me ask you this question though. That make any sense now?
Um, I too am foreign minded
Or
in that regard.
I was
It
trying to
makes
ask if that
no
make any
sense
sense.
because I can do me and I do me well because that's me. You feel me? You trying to do me, it ain't gonna it's not gonna pop off.
So
Ew.
so using a political quote, it's time to make a change. All
Right.
right, we see and we know that don't work. You know, uh, I look at the past. I look at my grandparents or even my mom who sat us down and told us how to manage money from young. All right. And so now as I live, I can do stuff and being away from home, I think it made it more important for us to do certain stuff different in terms of being able to plan, if I drop dead today or tomorrow, and my parents or my siblings or whoever have to come from home to get me, or they got to send me home, it's already something written. Hey, this is what he had ready. You ain't got to spend no money. Here's his body. So it did take us to do certain stuff, and so for us, here's what we're saying. Those same people in Nassau who are college educated, who been in America and got a college education and now home, they know what we're talking about, and some of them are trying to implement it. And so we're just talking about it to really plant that seed so other people can kind of be like, oh, that's what cousin was talking about, or that's what auntie was talking about, or that's what uncle was talking about. And so it's there. We're just trying to throw a little water on it and give it a little sunlight so it can grow.
But let me
Well,
let me say that.
that's wonderful that you're trying to sensitize the public at large, and it's the right thing to do. This reminds me of, even in regards to mental health and mental health checks, we just kind of logging on, we kind of turn on the device, but it loading, but it ain't actually, it ain't there
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah.
You see, but again, you have to talk about it. The more you talk about it, is the more it'll
Something
catch.
don't stick.
I can
Yeah.
understand that, and I applaud that. But you have to understand where and meet us where we're at. For the most part, generally speaking, we're not trying to even first and foremost acknowledge that somebody's doing better. It might be written and etched in stone and is blinding you in the face, but will we come to grips with it? For the most part, no. We're gonna hate before we try to figure out how can I do better in my life by tearing a page out of the book. And you see the problem with tearing a page out of the book? Most people, when they tear the page out of the book, they try to pattern exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Not say, your work ethics, to say, well, okay, you know what? They don't, you can't find them in the bed 12 o'clock in the afternoon, half of the day done. No, they out there, putting the shoulder to
Grinding.
the wheel. That's
Yeah.
not what they're studying. They're studying oh, you know what? So, Sean, have this kind of business. Okay, I too shall have that business. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna quote Buju. Only who feels it
Feels it,
knows. It
knows
ain't
it.
only it ain't a bed of rose. But what I also say is that for me growing up, I had a number of people, older people in my village, from my former boss at Caribbean Bottling Company, Coca-Cola, who saw something in me and pulled me aside. My former boss at Jay's Quality Video, who pulled me aside and people just poured into my life and say, hey, what are you doing over there? You know, Uncle Bill at church, Athma Bo at church, who pulled me aside and say, hey, look at this or look at that. And so all you got to keep on doing is keep on pouring in, because when we leave, when you look at your grandparents, we only our parents, we only the kids, we're a product of them. So it takes an older person to pull a younger person aside and say, hey, what are you doing over there? Come over here, let me show you this.
See, I tend to look at it a little bit differently, I think. So back to one of your earlier points, Sean, you talked about, people go abroad and they, kind of acquire this higher education. I say too, though, that some of the smartest people
Are the
are right
dumbest.
here in the midst on the streets. They don't have formal education. They don't have advanced degrees, but they're wise, right? So you can learn from anyone. I feel. I
I
feel
agree.
like you don't necessarily have to look at me and say, or look at somebody and say, "Oh, I want to be successful like they're successful." Like, look at these kids, these 20-year-olds, or these 30-year-olds. They're looking at influencers who make a great living. They're looking at kind of non-traditional
Yeah.
uh, careers, if you will. So I'm not of the mindset that you only look at people who are, educated in a certain way, or who, are in traditional roles. I feel like you can learn from so many people in so many ways. And why is it that I want to look at somebody else and go, oh, I'm hating on them? Pick somebody that you don't know then, pattern yourself after them.
No, no, don't hate at all, man. Appreciate,
Don't hate
don't
at
hate.
all,
Yeah.
right?
We're gonna
Yeah.
take a quick break. We got to find out what's happening traffic wise. We got our eye in the sky traffic report, followed by more free of mind on a motivational Monday, right here on the Star. No, you saying go find somebody you don't know to hate on? No, man, don't hate at all, man.
No,
Like,
not to hate on, to emulate,
oh, to
right? If you
emulate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if you hating on somebody that you know because you feel like they're doing better than you, go find somebody else to pattern your success after. It doesn't have to be somebody that you necessarily know, right? You got
Right?
TikTok, Instagram,
No,
all the social media. Go find somebody else to pattern your
them people,
your success
them people
after.
on social media ain't real
Some
as
of them
far as
ain't real. That's
Yeah,
true too.
yeah.
they ain't real.
That's true
So,
too.
so no,
But
that
but
ain't gonna.
in order to be
But
successful,
take the lesson though,
yeah,
right?
in order you have to have that mindset uh just to begin with. I mean, that's kind of my story in terms of how I started to DJ. I've always had it in me, but I had a friend who was DJing and he needed help, and I went and I saw that he needed help, and he didn't ask me, and I was like, "Hey, let me help you." And from there, it just took off. But you have to have that mindset and that want to and that drive that you want to do better and you want to be better.
Yeah, but you have to do it with a clean heart and a
That
clear and
part.
concise mind. That's different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's different.
That
That
part.
when your heart dirty, ain't nothing happening.
That's happening.
Ain't
That's
nothing
true.
happening.
That's
Ain't
true.
nothing happening. So, our commercials are playing. Boy, you talk. I see when I look at the list and I see this whole talk about having a will and thing. Child, that's a part of our culture to fight.
Yeah.
Fight. We got to come out from the two corners, man. Who can get what? You talking about lining
It
it up?
ain't making no sense
Come
though,
on,
man.
man, Renee, man. We don't do we.
It ain't
We
making
do
no
bad.
sense.
We just do bad.
It's
It don't
And
make no
horrible.
sense.
and the crazy thing about it is you see the families doing it. It ain't like have a friend or some girlfriend or whatever come out of woodwork. It's family. It's
Yeah,
you live in the same house, eat out the same pot, sleep in the same bed.
yeah.
And
It's
it hurts me when I see it and when I hear about it.
that's we chump up these things to culture. Everything is about the culture. This is who we are. Is this who we want to be though? And
But
No.
yeah, but
go
then
ahead.
culture evolves over time, right? So I mean, the things that do work, we keep that. The things that don't work, we need to tweak that, right? I mean, you got to change something sometime. You can't just exist and say, "Oh, this is the way we do it." Nothing changes.
Agreed. Agreed. But that's what we do, man. We
Yeah,
all know somebody whose family was squabbling. We all know somebody, and we never take away from the story, which is the lesson
the lesson, right?
of
Yeah.
planning. We know
Right.
it. We know so and so child, yeah, man, they family that carry on bad. Right?
No, I think every family's
Here we
argues
go. Let's go
like
live.
Thank you to our listeners for making us your radio station of choice. We are Star 106 Hits.
Star 106 hits. Welcome back. Free your mind on a motivational Monday. Food for thought as we close out another year. There are some things separate and apart from making that list and checking it twice, buying gifts, and bringing on the holiday cheer and the joy of Christmas. We're talking about in the long run. What plans do you have? The same way we plan for Christmas. We plan who, when, and who we cooking for. What's going to be on the menu. We plan who we buying gifts. We plan who we ain't buying gifts for. We plan all of these things. But when it comes to planning life, and I want to go on the limb and say, planning life after death, we don't necessarily want to think about that. You talking about retirement, Renee? You mentioned, oh, your first question swinging coming out the gate was, what plans do you have for retirement, and what plans you have for the children, lady? What are you talking about? Really, what are you talking about?
So this is what I've realized, right? Everybody plans their life. They want to have a beautiful life. They want to have the things that they want. They want to, take the fancy vacations, wear the fly gear. But we're not planning for after we're gone. We're not planning for death. Just as you plan for
Right.
life, you got to plan for
Thank
death.
you. You talking about planning for death. We're not planning for old age because we can be as young as we be, agile as we are, flexible as we are, of sound mind as we are, forever.
Forever.
Forever, ever.
So Renee, I just turned 51, right? Let me tell you something. If Santa could bring me two new knees for Christmas, I'll take that.
Woo! Oh Lord, what you say? Two good news.
Two good new knees. I'll take that. But no, we got to plan for tomorrow, right? And the day after that, and next month, and next year, and 10 years from now. We got to do it. We can't say culturally, oh, no, we don't do that, child. And that's why it's have children because they my retirement plan. It just doesn't
Bam,
make sense,
bam, bam, bam. That's it. And you
you
know
know?
what? That is the mindset of our island people. You know what I gone through to put you through school?
Right.
And you know what I had to sacrifice to XYZ ABC? It's called payback. And that's what most parents in the islands, not just the Bahamas, the idea is that so and so, you even hear them say it in jest. Oh, that's my old age pension.
Yeah.
That's my pension, baby. You feel me?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
so
I have,
and so so I feel like okay, so let me make this two pronged. So I naively thought for all my days that, you have parents, you love your parents, that's just the way it is, and you want to do right by them, right? This is me naively saying this. So over the past few years, I've heard all these horror stories about people who have had horrible childhoods and who have horrible relations with their parents, right? Relationships with their parents. So me, I'm like, well, my parents are all gone now, but I always said, I want to do whatever I need to or whatever I can for my parents. But you have a segment of people out there who are like my parents, they get rotten milk. I ain't doing nothing. So the
Woo!
dilemma either way, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And then you have those who say, "Who my parents? They never did nothing for me. They was never there for me." So guess what? They ain't looking at them straight up.
You
well,
know, so so we
well,
talked a little bit about the financial, right, Sean?
yeah, we talked about financial. And Renee, hit the social.
Okay,
What do
so
you
the
think
social.
socially?
So our social plans in retirement. What are we gonna do? So have we built these relationships with friends and families? Have we created a village that's going to kind of sustain us and enrich us and help us be fulfilled when we're retired? Or are we so mean and we're so standoffish that we haven't built these relationships and then we get to retirement and we're all alone and dying from loneliness? So
Girl, but you think
have we
that's
thought about
wrong?
our village? You know? And then another thing, where will you live? Will you live
Oh,
for will you live
see,
in Nassau? You living in your own house? You living with your
me,
parent,
me,
your
teacher, me,
siblings, your children? You going to the island? What you
me.
doing?
Go
It's
ahead,
so
Empress.
funny. It's so funny that you bring this up because somebody said to me today, right? This was a call for help and for advice, right? The newlywed couple, yeah, because under 3 years is still newlywed,
Still
right?
anywhere. Yeah.
Newlywed couple, the husband is saying to the wife, although the mother, his mother-in-law, the wife's mother, is still very much active and doing what she does. She's in her 60s, late 60s. The husband made it quite clear. Don't you think for a minute when your mother gets older, retirement age, that she's coming to live with us. And she was so crushed. She called me and she's like, "Can you believe that my husband, my mom is not that age yet, she's not slowing down anytime soon. But because she does not live in her own house, she rents an apartment, you know, um, he's just stating the facts from now that, you know what, when she's in need of assistance, don't think
Don't
that
come here.
she's coming here to live with us." And she's so hurt about it.
But
What
they
do you
didn't talk
say?
about that before.
I was about to say that that's a part of dating.
Let's talk about that before you get married, man.
That
What, what,
all that's a
what you
part of
what you
dating.
mean? You see, because she's an only child, he brought it up. Now him and his siblings, I guess he's made it quite clear that, you know, she ain't coming to live with me. She must be coming to live with you or
But you
whatever
gotta
the case
talk
may
about
be.
that. You
Because the
gotta talk
wife
about that,
is the
Empress.
only child. It's only her.
You gotta talk
But
about that though. You can't make that assumption that he's gonna be okay with that.
but that's a part of the question we ask in terms of as an adult, when I get older, where do I want to live? Who I want to live with in terms of if I need help, who is going to be there to help me? Who am I pouring into, or where am I putting my resources for my old age?
Or you
I
going to
mean,
the old people home? I
you
mean,
know,
that
I
got to be part of it too, eh?
What country?
I mean, hey, I'm just saying. And
Not
they
yet.
still have the persons Rogers home for the age, right? They ain't
nope.
got that age. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Empress.
No, you see those nice luxurious communities is what they call it in the US. The senior
Assisted
communities,
living and
senior
senior
citizens.
facilities,
65
right?
and
They
65 and
nice.
older.
They nice and they're expensive too.
I understand that, but it's all about the planning. About the planning. I don't think any child should grow up worrying about whether or not their parents are going to come and live with them when they're old and can't sustain themselves and take care of themselves. I think that's a part of the adult planning. Like you said, we got to
Should be.
plan for this time. Am I going to save my coins to have a caretaker? I don't think at any point that me personally, I don't want to be no burden to none of my kids. Like,
Same,
they got their
same,
lives to live. I don't want,
same.
there's going to be a row day between, say my daughter and her husband or my son and his wife. Oh, yeah, mommy, she just, oh, no, 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 child. Not a
But
day like
So
it.
but let me ask this question too, though. If you're making what's the minimum wage, 250 a week, right?
I can need Kevon to stop.
What do you want to say?
In the words of Escape, who can I run to? Let me take a break on that one. We got to take another break. Free your mind. We trying to be serious at our Facebook because, oh my God, right here on the star.
The technicians at Muscle World on Mackey Street.
Keep on going to corner, man. Are you serious?
10 minutes time out.
They-
No, but listen, my mother and her sisters had to literally go to their mother's house. In fact, it was a elaborate scheme.
Mhm.
One auntie took her for the weekend, and other sisters went and cleaned out the house while she was gone. So Sunday evening rolled around, and she's asking, "Hey, you ready to take me home? I ready to go home?" And my auntie look at her as like, "You better relax yourself. Uh, the sisters already cleaned out the house. You ain't getting back there. You're staying with us." And so they rotated her in terms of one week she'll stay with one sister, the next week she'll stay with the next one, and or 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, and that's until she passed away. That's how they kept her because her husband was already dead, and so that's how they dealt with their mom
I think
because
these
they
new said different though. They different though, Sean. These new said ain't like
Yeah,
yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah.
And not only, boy, that's one thing about the other man, them. They just plan whether they're going into these nice homes, these communities, these senior citizen communities or what. But you don't see white folk really doing that where they, infringing on their children and their lives. They don't do that. Only us is do that.
Yeah.
But
And
is
I
it?
and I, and I
And it's
Is it?
noticed
because of
too
lack of planning.
We don't
That's
lack
what
plan.
it
of
is,
planning, lack of planning, and I
But
noticed too our communities, our villages are we don't know our neighbors. When you
No
was
more.
growing up,
Let's go.
Miss
We're going
Mary.
live again. Hold that thought for live. Star 106 Hits. Welcome back. Free your mind on a motivational Monday, boy. If you're not tuned into the live stream, you're missing all of the real conversations off air. I've got Sean and Renee with me today as we discuss real planning. Real planning. So, Sean, you were saying something. Please, by all means, complete that thought.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have villages like we used to. When I was growing up through Martin Street, everyone know everyone, and the old people in the community, you made sure if hurricane come in, all the fellas go and batten up that Miss Ola house, or if you know that she needs some water, you go to the pump for her and get her water, or you go and check on her. Hey, I go into the grocery shop. Do you need me to pick something up for you while I out there? And so those are the stuff that we did in
Did.
our village, and I don't think we have that anymore.
No.
So you have to plan for to build a village, or what you can do at 80 or 90. You can stay in Nassau, or you can go to. I have an aunt. She moved back from. She lived in Yellow Elder with her boys. She moved back to Andres. She in South Andres. I talked to her today. Listen, you need some fish. You need some conch. I retired. All I doing is just sitting on the bay. So
Nice.
she had a plan. So she's
But you,
enjoying
but
all
you know
age.
what I think too? So like I've been making this joke for years, so decades by now. It's not really a joke. Like I mean it, like kind of. So you remember the Golden Girls, right? Remember all of them lived in the house on the beach in Florida.
Right.
So I told my girlfriends, I said, you know what? The husband's probably gonna be dead long before the. I don't know
No,
why.
no.
It probably could be like 3, 4 hours left. Like, no, we all live in one house. We split the bills or whatever 4 ways. We have our own stuff. We have somebody to come drive us, somebody to come cook. It ain't got to be family, right? It's like you figure out what makes sense for you. I mean, I'm just saying.
Man, listen to me. Who, what we can be doing? Sharing the Bengay? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
let's be real. We need a young blood to help us. I don't know, but it's a great question. Is something definite that we need to think about.
Yeah,
Where are you gonna live for real? Are you planning to go live underneath your children? And a lot of us have that mindset that they owe us that because of what we've done for them to put them on life's path,
right.
which is, of course, putting them through school, giving them all of the rudiments of life. Um, but it's not payback. Having children is not for your old age pension. And I think that mindset is what we need to first and foremost dispel, because that's usually what our plan is. When I get old, they got to take care of me.
They can take care of me, right?
I
You
did it
know,
for them. You know how much sleepless nights I had. You know how much
The
sacrifices I made.
sacrifices, yeah, right, right.
Yeah, it's
and when you look at it, even that ain't etched in stone, because you have kids who don't look back. You
never.
know, they go and they don't look back. They don't look back in terms of where they came from. Not just their parents, but just the whole idea of looking back and trying to help pull someone up. Trying to bring someone up to the next level.
I'm looking at this beautiful, beautiful list that you guys made. And this one question I see towards the end, I've kind of skipped over a couple things, but this one that says, do you have that designated person that knows where your documents are? Will, deeds, insurance policies. What insurance policy? What will?
Nah,
What are you
Empress.
talking about?
Empress. Now everybody in there when we have that insurance policy where they pay like whatever it is,
Not
six
no
dollars
more.
a week, right? And then
Not
the
no more.
payout is
We on
only
it.
like $2,000, but they pay on it for 50 years, right? It might not be good insurance, but everybody get that insurance. They done paid 500,000 into the insurance, but they only get 2,000 at the end. Everybody get that,
See, look,
right?
people laughing at you and they say insurance and will.
But okay, so
So
but here's the thing about a will, right? You can write down on a piece of paper, listen, I have 4 dogs and some dishes. I want Sean to have 2 of the dogs. I want John to have the other 2. And these dishes, give them to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. It ain't a complicated thing. Just write your wishes down. How difficult is that?
You write it down, but that means that I dying soon. We
No
ain't doing
man.
that.
No man, Renee.
I'm only
No.
telling you how we think. We ain't
and
trying to put no. Yeah, there's life and death in the tongue, and you talking about a will means that I'm coming to an end.
All us gone dead. Newsflash. Eh? All us
so
gone dead.
Empress, you hit on it earlier where you said that we see it all the time where families, someone
Somebody,
died,
yep, yep.
and then all of a sudden there's a big
Squabble.
hoopla.
Yeah.
It's a so here's what we're saying. To avoid that hoopla, write it down. I have a cousin, and he will tell my mother, who I love dearly. If I tell him I want you to do this, he can
That's
go
what he
and
can do.
he can hug her. And he said, "Now your boy was a good boy, and he did this and he did that. These are his wishes." And she can say, "All right, so be it."
Now,
But
there's a way to do that, and if my lawyer is listening, we can do that but it has to be. I think somebody has to
And
notarize it.
yeah,
Somebody,
has been notarized.
Yeah,
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 y'all know what the procedure is.
yeah.
yeah. Especially and Empress, especially if you're a single parent, either a single mom or a single dad. You know, accidents happen all the time. You got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and you end up in a car wreck, and now that those persons you don't have a good relationship with family members. So what's going to happen to your 3 and 5-year-old? So I mean, all we're saying is just common sense stuff. We're not
And
saying stuff is
then
going to happen, but if it does, just like how you go and take that car, you have to have an insurance to drive a car. You have to have a
Who
license to
says?
get this. Well,
you're
I'm just
supposed
saying,
to.
supposed to, but you have to have all these things in place to do certain stuff. All
Oh,
right,
man.
so put those things in place. As you live. So that when you die, and like Renee said, all of us can die. So when you die, it'll be in writing, and no one can come and say different.
So here's my question though. This is my question. Why are we so afraid to plan though? Like why are we so afraid of the inevitable? We know that we will all die. We know that if we're lucky we'll get to be elder
100.
people, right? Why are we so afraid to plan for these eventualities? Like what's the big deal?
I don't. I can't answer that, but generally speaking, I don't know, we just have this thing about the power of the tongue, and I guess the power of the pen. You putting pen to paper about dying, um, is a no for us.
So we just rather wait until we do die and then have this big cluster of foolishness. Everybody trying to figure out what, everybody fighting and squabbling instead of saying, look here, these are my wishes. Get the people to notarize this. This is where the document is. Tell the
No,
people where all your stuff is. When
no,
I go, this is what it
but
is.
guess
What's
what?
that?
But guess what? Just like any beauty pageant, any junkanoo to do, always is somebody rigged that up. It's always that mindset and that thought that it ain't go like that. It's some curry favor. It's some kind of, you know,
We like drama.
somebody's done
and
something
and
to
that's
Yeah.
why
to
that's why I put it in writing to let you know that
that ain't
here's
Sean writing. That ain't it.
but you know something, what I'm gonna do a video. Me and the wife will
That's a
do a
good
Okay,
idea.
video
okay.
and
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
play
That's a
this
good
and I
idea.
this. This is his wishes.
Sean, that's an excellent
I
idea.
like that. Yeah.
Now, does it stand up in court? Can we find out?
I think
Can you
it'll
have
stand
it
up in court.
certified?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think
Say
it'll
that
stand
again,
up in
Renee.
court.
Maybe you could have the video certified, like in the presence of somebody. I certify that
Yeah,
this
that's me.
video was
I know
made on
this
this
me.
day.
Look at me. This me.
But I'm
No,
saying,
true.
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about the
but
holding up in
what can we
court.
question versus handwriting, which somebody could say that's not Sean's writing?
So you do a video and you have the video, everything you say in the video on document and electric document or whatever, and then you have it notarized.
I like that.
I like
But
that idea too.
I
you
like
have
that.
you have to do something different because and what gets me too, one little 10 or 20, $30,000. It ain't like it's a 2 million, 3 million. So they fighting. I mean, it ain't no big. It's money, but it ain't no big money.
Look at this one. Say Sean don't write his R like that. Woo, keep on saying, gotta know if you in your right mind in the video. Make sure no one behind the camera forcing you. See, there's so many variables to this thing.
But
You
that's
know,
why you have
somebody
to
had a gun to
say,
his head saying that.
that's why you have to say, I, Sean Smith, being of sound mind on
Right, right,
this
right,
day,
right, right,
right?
right.
Yeah,
With no
yeah.
force.
With
Yeah.
no
Under
gun
no
to my
duress.
head.
Yeah. However it is.
No,
But I like the video thing. I like the
I
video
can
thing.
ask my lawyer about that.
Yeah, ask the lawyer about that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I can
I
let y'all
like
know what
that.
he say.
and
I like it.
I think they're gonna come up with something pretty soon because we have this thing now with AI. So I think they'll come up something.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think they will come up with something in order to say, hey, this ain't no AI. This is actually Sean Smith or whatever. But even a lawyer having, like I said, video have it in video, and then document it.
So,
All right.
so
Yeah,
your
Auntie Maud says, I'm a senior. I know that I will die, and I have made plans for the future. I thank God for the promised years that He has blessed me with.
she's
Oh,
smart, smart.
Raisa says that don't work for the bank.
What don't work for the bank?
Must see the video.
Well, whatever I need to do for the bank, if I got to have 4 or 5 different documents and say the same thing, that's what it's going to be.
But so on that list that we put out there though, so like some of the things that make sense: financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, right? And then two, state clearly on your all your paper who your beneficiaries are supposed to be, who the beneficiaries are. These things have got to be stated. But I got to tell you all this story, right? So I have a cousin in Houston. So one Thanksgiving, her parents were coming to visit. So her mother was like, "Oh, I got this gentleman I want to set you up with, right?" So she sent me, I coming down the stairs, I crawling. I was like, "Oh shoot, oh shoot." I get there, the man must be 70 something. I said, "Well, my sister." So wait,
Ah,
so the man passed away like a year or so later. This is what she can tell me.
see?
You could have had all his apartments and all the
That's right.
property and stuff.
That's
So
right.
now what I look like trying to fight with this man's grown children about I'm acquiring his properties
That's right.
after I've only been with the old man a year. I
Two,
was like,
two
don't do it.
minutes.
Y'all do like scandal, don't do it.
Your auntie was looking out for you, child. Your auntie was looking.
I was like, my feelings are so hurt. I was like, Lord, not the 70-something-year-old Jesus.
Look at this. Raisa was saying that they put her through the ringer with trying to do the power of attorney thing. So they want you to bring them in even if they can't walk, and that's why people can't be bothered.
That ain't making
Our,
sense.
our
And she's
That ain't
system,
telling
making
you a
sense.
real
our system needs
story.
to change.
That's crazy.
Yeah, our system needs to change.
That doesn't
Kevon
make
says the
sense.
family drama, just leave everything to the dog. Boy, Kevon. I know people who do it though.
Yeah.
For
But
real.
it
But
just
guys,
shouldn't be this
I think,
hard.
overall, you've made some really valid points, even though I made, light of some of them just because culturally we just don't we know better, but we don't necessarily do better. And again, I bring the illustration of mental health checks. It's the same thing. It's gonna take time for us to, accept it for what it is. Although, all of us live in church and been living in church, been to church, whatever it is, and know that death is inevitable, but we still have not come to grips, or want to rather come to grips with the idea of preparing for
Yeah.
that time. But thanks for trying.
And that's the thing. You're in church and you're not preparing for this life that we're living is not the best life.
And
Because when
it's
you
getting
die,
worse.
if you're in church, when you die, that's the best life, to live in glory. So,
Hallelujah.
why aren't you? Why aren't
Hallelujah.
you prepared? Why you're preparing your soul? You're a Christian. You're preparing your soul for glory, but you ain't preparing nothing else.
Well, what about the heathen people like myself? I mean, what about the heathens? Huh?
The heathens.
In
Huh?
His name, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Keep on praying for you.
Woo! Guys, thank you so much. Yes, yes. Food for thought. And, hopefully, as people go on their merry ways of making this season merry and bright, that, during this downtime, family time, that people will actually put pen to paper, at least start the process um, to do better. You talk about, like I said, moving into the new year, and the new year, new me. The new me don't necessarily mean going to the gym. The new me could mean just your mindset, looking at things differently, doing things differently for a different outcome. And that's
Right.
all we could pray for. So hopefully, folks, this stick with one or two. I like the video idea, Sean. I'm gonna ask my good lawyer what's his yeah, exactly, Kevon. They walking by faith and not by sight. Hallelujah. Yeah. When we get when we get to this bridge, cross it kind of people. That's who we are. Sorry.
We're gonna get you out of it. We're gonna knock
We
you
can
out
do
of it, and
better.
we
We
can
can do
get you to
better.
do better because you know better. So we can
We
get
can
you
See,
do
to do
better.
better.
they say when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and that's one thing. You guys over there, y'all understand simple things like credit, man. We don't care about those things. You know
But
what I mean? Over there, you don't let nobody drive your car who ain't on your insurance, man. You want borrow my car? My car right here. You feel me? We're different in that light, in that respect.
but
So
what your mommy them used to say,
gradually,
what your mommy them used to say, if your friend jump off the cliff, you're gonna go jump off the cliff too.
no, Miss Renee, no.
Oh,
But I'm just saying the way you guys have adopted the
I understand. I
American
get your point.
different way of life. You know what I mean? These are
Yeah.
things that the everyday American from yay high understand these fundamentals. It's just the way of their world. We, on the other hand, we are wingers. We wing it.
And
We on
so
a on a prayer, and that's it.
and, and so I say this, we want to be in the the new age, the 23rd, millennium or whatever, or the 23rd century. You got to prepare, you start preparing yourself. So when it hits, so when it hit, and, and let me make an analogy. Y'all had cable in Freeport for years, right? When
Hey,
NASA finally get cable, people didn't know what to do. Now you don't get cable. Everyone got you got your Fire
I
Stick.
stick.
So we're trying to prepare you for stuff that's coming before you get that cable. We're trying to prepare you to get that cable. So we're just dropping those seeds so you can have it. So when you finally get it, you be like, oh, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah,
Renee
yeah.
told me with that. Coach told me with that. So you'll have those tools that you'll be able to pull out and use.
So
Well, folks,
can I make one final point?
okay.
So everybody is on social media, right? There's Google, there's all these search engines, there's whatever. Like if you want to find out a thing, you go do research on a thing, right? So if it's important enough for you to be concerned about it, you go figure out how to do it. So I think when these issues are important enough for people, they'll figure out how to do it. I mean, there's no rocket science here. There's nothing that hasn't been done before. So when it's important enough for people to want to know, they'll
They'll go
go
get
find
it.
out.
Hopefully, before
Too late.
hopefully it's before it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, well, I think this is it for us until, because I can't even say next week, Monday. Monday is Christmas, so I say season's greetings to you both and to your families.
Thank you.
Wishing
You
you all
too.
the best. I don't think we will see each other again until, let me look, hold on.
After the New Year.
Let me
Feliz
look,
2024.
Navidad, everyone.
until 2024. So I'll
Yeah.
see y'all next year.
Feliz Navidad.
Thanks
Happy
for
Yeah.
having
holidays. Couple
me.
months of the
Merry
season.
Christmas. Happy New
Go
Year.
Saxons. Go
Go Valley.
Saxons.
Ah, Merry Christmas to you both, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And
Thanks,
see y'all
Ray.
in 2024. Folks, we over time. Top of the hour, 5 o'clock. You're driving 5 with yours truly. And DJ AI comes your way.
Empress, I got one picture I'm gonna send to you.
Me?
Renee, I don't be tropsy. But Empress, I got a picture I'm gonna send to you.
What it is? Send it. I waiting. I waiting. Send it.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, right.
Jesus, I ain't gonna see y'all till the 8th. What the sec?
Oh, wow.
Wow, because next week is Christmas. The following is New
New
Year's.
Year.
I
Yeah.
don't see you until the 8th on a Monday.
Wow.
Wow.
This was fun, though. Thank you for having me.
Well, of course, and when Coach comes back, you got to come back.
I will. I
Meet
will.
us here on the 8th.
I have to put. I can put it on my calendar.
Let me see what this is. Man, say it ain't so. Sean, when this is?
That was last week on the 7th, right before someone's birthday.
Oh, yes. I know this true because he was supposed to be here for an event on last week, Saturday, the DJ showcase.
Right, right.
And in the group, it said, I'm stuck in Dallas. Yes, I
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
We
I
had
saw
a good time, though. It was fun.
Oh,
It
you
was a
had
good
fun too,
time.
eh, Renee?
Yeah, right.
She's
You know, I
like,
go hang out with
that's,
the fellas
that's why I
too.
sent you the next picture with her.
Let me see.
She said she
Well,
ain't in it.
holy, some holy camole. Man, Renee, I messing with you.
What get you saying, Sean?
Boy,
What would you holding it?
boy, you
Oh,
ain't
season
nobody
8.
to play with, boy. Jesus.
We live in Texas, man.
I hope
So
this
we
up
had,
there.
yeah, we had a day where we was out in at Mort's house, and out there we shoot and hunt and stuff like that. And so yeah,
Boy, Renee holding that little too gangster for me.
hey,
What,
she could
what,
use it,
what
you
what
know.
you thought? What you
She could
thought? What
use
you
it, you
thought?
know.
Renee, boy, Renee, this ain't, boy, anyway, I can leave that one alone.
They roll up on us. She busting a
That's
cap.
what I say. She bust a cap.
Oh,
My God. See Camp Road? You see Camp
oh,
Road? She all that
oh.
like, boy.
Look, I just act like I have sense until I'm tested. Don't test me, eh?
Bam! And that's a Renee for you. Oh, Lord, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
us.
It's been a blast. I
Yes,
Enjoy
enjoyed
your
yes.
myself.
holidays, and
See ya.
hope Santa brings you everything you want.
Yes, thank you. You too. 2024, January 8th. See y'all.
All right.
All right, bye,
Okay,
y'all.
Bye bye, y'all.
bye.